'tis best we stay far away from the English. Our young lad of a king and his French regent won't be helping us if King Henry's troops overrun Islay. Already they've infiltrated the mainland up to Oban, hunting for French conspirators against England. I hear they hauled Will Campbell and his wife down to London for trial, just for serving a French meal last Christmastide. The English are like black taint creeping up a leg, Farlin said. Closer and closer without notice, until you're dead. A dry slice of peat crackled and spit in the hearth, making the flames brighten. Shadows from the iron grate slid against the walls, dancing like witches casting spells. Wind whistled about the corners of the stone castle that perched on a small peninsula jutting out into the sea, adding an ominous symphony to their dire predictions. "I've no intention of inviting the French to Islay for dinner or attacking the English," Cullen said. At least, not unprovoked. Had his uncles ever made merry in their lives? His mother swore they were young once. William had even been kind to her as a lass, but anger over their father's choice for the next chief and his hate of Cullen's da made William especially a bitter nuisance. How could Cullen prove his worth to them, become a leader they could trust? Farlin craned his thick neck back and inhaled, filling his barreled chest like a stretched wine bladder, which could only mean another lecture. "There's much to do, Cullen. The harvest came in with bountiful results," Cullen finished. "I left Brochenarl to make sure everything continued to run smoothly." He nodded to the open-mouthed man. "And I thank ye and Uncle William for keeping the island free of English while I was away strengthening our alliances." Cullen uncrossed his ankles, planted his boots with a thud on the woven rug, and stood, stretching tall. His father may not have left him much, but Anderson Duffie had given his son great height and a carefree smile. Unfortunately, his uncles thought that his casual, slow-to-anger attitude made him a poor chief, and constantly pointed out that he hadn't been born nor raised to be the leader of the huge MacDonald clan of Islay. "Now, I will find my bed." He bent to kiss his mother's cheek. "But we should run down the accounts with ye," Farlin said. "In the morning," Cullen answered, knowing his uncles would painstakingly go through every sheep shared, fish caught, and candle dipped. The fire flickered with a gust of wind down the chimney, and thunder cracked outside. "Ye best find your warm homes," Cullen said. It was December, and winter storms battered Islay from the Atlantic. Charlotte stood, the top of her head coming only to a shoulder. "I will find my bed as well." Cullen offered her his arm and led her toward the dark corridor at the back of the hall. They reached the stairs, leaving the grumbling uncles behind. Charlotte's face softened. "I'm glad you're home. My brothers." She shook her head, sliding her long braid off her shoulder. "They're tiresome." "Aye, but I'm sorry to be gone so often." She patted his hand. "A necessity." He followed her up the winding stone steps, lit by oil sconces set in the stone, their little flames undisturbed behind glass shields. His mother's fingers trailed along the rough wall. Was she happy here, living in her father's huge, frigid castle, instead of the cosy cottage Cullen's father built? She and Cullen had moved in right after Gerard died, before the uncles could do so. Perhaps they didn't belong here. They reached the top of the stairs. "We can move back out to Da's cottage," he said, causing Charlotte to spin toward him. "And I could come to the keep for counsel." "Nee," she said. "Ye canna." Her gaze flashed toward the dark stairs. "They will sweep in here before the beds are cold." "I will still be the MacDonald." "Dunevig Castle is the home of the MacDonald, Cullen. My father thought ye to be the best leader for the clan, the one to guard us against unneeded war." "Grandfather liked me for dancing with grandmother and complimenting her white teeth." The woman had told everyone about her young grandson's comments to her one festival, and the teasing began. To a 10-year-old Cullen, a pretty smile with a bounty of white teeth meant healthy and happy. Since he couldn't live the comment down, he'd embraced it. "'Tis more than that," his mother tapped his chest. "I've great faith in ye. You're clever and honourable. You have the best qualities from your father, and none of his excesses. You're a leader, and no matter what anyone says, my father named ye the MacDonald." He leaned against